Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave sitting in a comfortable position, feet flat on the ground, back, neck and head in a straight line, stretched up towards the sky, chin mudra if you want on your lap, or you can keep your hands together like this, or you can keep it like this, or you can keep it like this, or keep it closed and only one hand like this. Whatever is naturally expressing and comfortable, we must glide into it. A smile on a face, a happy disposition, keeping the past and future at bay, no thoughts. We choose not to think of past or future. Coming into the present moment, being fully available to yourself, taking a deep breath, and while breathing out, scanning your body from head to toe, forehead, eyes, nose, lips, chin, throat, chest, abdomen, thighs, knees, calf muscles, ankles, toes, and out. Relax. Again, taking a deep breath in, and while breathing out, allowing the body to relax. Scan your body from head to toe again, and relax. Relax. Once more, and again relaxing the body as you scan through from top to bottom with the outgoing breath. Let the body settle down. Feel the body settle down. See yourself in the screen of your mind, in the position that you are sitting right now. Look at yourself from the front. And offer the entire future at the feet of the divine. Just have the prayer. You don't have to bring the divine form or anything. Just whatever the future is for the body, you surrender it to the divine. Why? You didn't create the body. That's why. So who has created it? Let him take care of it. Doing a circumambulation of the body in your mind, come to the right hand side, right profile of your body. seeing the right ear, right jaw, right shoulder, right elbow, right arm, right hip, right thigh, whichever way you are sitting. And right side represents the mind, the emotions, the emotional aspect of our personality. Let all emotions be surrendered at the feet of the divine. Regrets, feelings towards something, towards someone, whatever. Many times there are unexplained feelings that well up, emotions that well up. Let them all, it's okay. This is not the time. They will resolve themselves. Moving back to the body, going to the back of the body, see the back of your head, back of your neck, the upper back, the middle back, the lower back, your hips. Let the past be bygone. The past is dead and gone. Ego is the accumulation of the past is equal to ego. The more the memories, the stronger is the ego. Zero memories, zero ego. Consciously surrender the entire past memories at the feet of the divine. Continuing our journey to the left-hand side of the image in your mind, see the left ear, the left jaw, the left shoulder, the left elbow, the left arm, the left hip, the left knee, the left ankle, and the left foot. The left side represents the thinking aspect of you, the knowledge aspect of you, and our knowledge is only objective in nature, is conceptual in nature, is imaginary in nature. Whatever it may be, we don't have to specify anything. Surrender it at the feet of the divine. Let him take care of thinking also. Again, coming to the front of the image, see the image sitting still, smiling, undisturbed, eyes closed, locked into position. And when your observation of this image has settled down, if some people are having difficulty in having the image, you think of your skin where it is touching the space outside. Bring your attention to that juncture point. The skin of your body, the envelope in which you are. What is the point where it touches the space? Suddenly the image will pop up in your mind. The whole exercise of this observation of the body is only because of one reason. We have invested a lot in this body. We are guided, directed, disturbed, working so hard, physically, emotionally, intellectually, only for this body. and whatever is associated with this body, we are consciously surrendering at the feet of the Divine, so that no data with reference to the body, with reference to the body, comes and disturbs us. It settles down. If it doesn't settle down, it is called disturbance. When it settles down and you don't know it, it is called sleep. When body settles down, then there is a possibility, like right now, that you are able to observe the body settled, locked into position. Immediately shift your attention. Who is observing the body? I am. Where am I? Who am I? Instead of looking at the body form, be attentive of the observer. An observer is not an object to be perceived. Observer is not an object to be caught. It is you. You are just bringing your attention as if to yourself, the observer. For some time, for a microsecond, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it may be there. Then it will go back to the body. Again bring it back. Again bring it back. Do this for a minute or so. Now in this still body, unmoving body, we bring our attention to the next aspect, next sheath, the breath, the vital airs. We have to consciously bring about a settlement in this area also. To bring that about, breathe in and feel the breath going all the way down to your abdomen, and slowly breathe out completely. Next, Breathe in up to your chest, fill up the chest. And breathe out slowly. Gently, don't force the breath out. Now breathe in up to the throat. And slowly breathe out. Again, breathing in up to the nasal passage. And breathing out slowly till all the breath is out of your system. Again, breathing in only up till the nostrils. Till now, and breathing out. This was controlled breathing. It was shown to you so that you understand what is the journey of the breath. The more we settle down, the breath becomes shorter and shorter and shorter. And eventually, it only goes into the nostrils and comes out. By the time it reaches this stage where it goes into the nostrils and comes out, your body is absolutely unmoving. If you felt you were settled before when you are observing the body, you are even more settled as a result of slow and shallow breath. Keep watching the breath without taking charge of it, without regulating it, without guiding it, without stopping it or starting it. No willful interference with the breath must be there. Just merely observe the breath. As the breath becomes slow and shallow, the expansion and contraction of the body also becomes less and less and less. Result is, body settles down even further. No disturbance. Keep your attention at the nostrils and keep watching the breath going in and coming out, going in and coming out. Some of you may become aware that the in-breath is cool at the nostrils and the out-breath is warm at the nostrils. We told you this data so that your attention remains at the nostrils. This temperature difference cannot be experienced inside the body. It can be experienced only at the nostrils. We don't want our attention to go to the abdomen or the throat or anywhere else. Only at the nostrils. Remain focused there. Relax. Allow the breath to regulate itself. If you don't interfere, very quickly it will settle down. Settling down means the breath, the distance that it was covering after going into your nose keeps reducing. Breath is the glue which keeps the body and the mind attached together. Body, just as a stamp is glued to the envelope. Body is the stamp and breath is the glue, and the stamp is stuck to the envelope called the mind. As this breath becomes slow and shallow, finer and finer, the stamp, without tearing it, we are able to separate from the envelope, or it comes about by itself. We don't have to do anything. With this understanding, as the breath becomes slow and shallow, the number of thoughts erupting in our mind also become less to a large extent. So on one hand, the breath expands and contracts the body, and on the other hand, the movement of breath is instrumental in the flow of thoughts. The faster the breath, more will be the thoughts. Lesser the breath, lesser will be the thoughts. No breath, no thought. This we have to discover by regular practice. So, as you are watching the breath, every now and then be conscious of the thoughts in your mind. The activity of the mind even at this moment is largely reduced. We are available only to the thoughts, words that are coming to us, to a large extent, compared to how much chatter was going on in your mind before we came to meditation. Largely reduced. When the number of thoughts naturally less in the mind, and how did we bring it about? By observing the breath. This is a very effective technique because breath is inert. Breath does not think. So you can take its support, and if you interact with it correctly, which is only observe the breath, it settles down in a short time. On one hand, it settles the body down, and on the other hand, the activity of the mind reduces. Reduced activity in the mind is equal to focused mind. Newer possibilities can be introduced in this mind where there is less activity of thoughts. Diving into the depths of our personality is possible. Yes, you could practice when you are watching the breath. Who is watching the breath? I am. Who am I? Shift your attention and relax. Now we are coming to the mind. Instead of allowing the mind to think what it wants to think, here consciously we bring about or introduce a mantra, a syllable, which is all inclusive. Nothing is outside of it. And that syllable is Om. In your mind, don't chant Om, 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 Om. No, very gently, in a very relaxed manner, in an elongated manner, meaning, just for your sake, mentally chant this mantra in this manner. I'll do it once or twice more, and then you continue. The mind loves variety. Different thoughts, different emotions, different ideas all appear as thoughts in our mind. And when, having relaxed the breath, as a result relax the mind, we introduce only Om in the mind with faith, devotion. Mind says, what is this going on? Only one thought. I am used to variety. But that variety is not allowed because of our focus. Immediately, doesn't take too long, the mind becomes tired of thinking the same thing again and again and again. This is what happens to us. That's why we are talking so much. Because mind is not quiet. So when we introduce the mantra or the syllable Om is being chanted by the mind. It becomes monotonous. It becomes repetitive. Slowly, the mind starts getting bored of chanting the Om. That boredom must not lead to sleep, so we have to invoke the faith, devotion, reverence towards Om, and we keep chanting it. But because it is the same syllable being chanted, the mind starts, on one hand, you are having faith and devotion. On the other hand, the mind starts losing interest because it wants variety and you are not giving it variety. Gaps between two Oms start appearing. So what happens? You are not creating the gap, you are remaining there. If you observe that some other thought other than Om is trying to show its head, you chant Om, otherwise you remain in the gap. Practice this for a few minutes without going to sleep in the gap. when we are observing the mind, which is chanting Om, and every now and then the gaps appear between Oms. Our disposition is, I am the observer of the Om. I am the observer of the absence of Om, which is called the gap. And again, when the Om comes, I am aware, observer of the Om. So what is the conclusion? I am the observer of presence of Om and absence of Om. I am the observer of manifestation called Om as word, and unmanifestation called silence. I am other than manifestation and unmanifestation. Be the witness. Remain as the observer. And naturally, after some time, your attention goes to the observer. Who am I? The observer goes back to its source. Our masters have given yet another technique. The moment Om subsides, the silence or the gap begins. Understand there is nothing called a gap. By remaining conscious in that gap, it is naturally happening. You are not doing anything new. You be the presence in that gap. You be the presence in that silence. If this is also not possible, it is the mind is finding it difficult. Where the Om ends, keep your attention there. As we said, you chant Om, elongated Oms. Om. Try to catch the point where the Om is ending. Any of these three exercises, catching the Om where it ends, it is called the Sandhi. Remaining as presence in the absence of Om, or being the observer of both the presence and absence of Om. All these three approaches will bring you back to the witness. Nothing is higher or lower. Each mind is different. You work out what is working for you. And as we said, once we come to be the witness, witness means the one who is Sakshi, who is observing without involvement, and whatever he is observing, he began observing the body, it settled down. You were observing the breath, it settled down. Now you are observing the mind, it will also settle down. And once it settles down to a large extent, the observer becomes available to himself. His attention goes to itself. Where the witness has nothing to observe, no flux of presence and absence. The observer cannot be called an observer because there is nothing to observe. He falls back into the original, Chin Mudra. The I goes back to the source, merges back into the source, because the itch to involve with the world has subsided. Anytime sleep comes, go back to the breath, become conscious of the breath, then go back into the mind and back to the observer, and be the observer. through this simple process, we see how we can unclutch ourselves from the body, come back to the I, unclutch ourselves from the breath, and be the I, the observer. And by introducing mantra or Om, becoming aware of the presence and absence of Om, with the three processes, exercises given, again come back to the I. When practiced regularly, it will spill over in your daily life. You will remain the observer and the world will happen. And we are not disturbed by the world. And as long as we are not disturbed by the world will start losing its impact on us and eventually settle down. When it settles down, the I goes back to its source. All this, what we just told you, is naturally happening all the time. You just don't know, you just have not recognized it. We have just made you understand that it is already happening. And be the unchanging one, be the conscious one, be the undisturbed one, be the unborn one. Breath is born and dies, thought born and dies, you remain. You are the unborn, undying, Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta Swarup. This is knowledge. The I coming back to its source, the I recognizing itself without objectivity, without thinking, is the true knowledge, where the knowing and being is one. Move your fingers, move your toes, move your neck, keep your eyes closed, move your neck, left, right, up, down, move your shoulders. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. We'll meet back. क्या टाइम है? हाँ, 9 o'clock. नहीं, 9 o'clock we'll meet. It's only 8 o'clock. After breakfast. Yeah.